Round 2, so we try out the breath meditation again. Maybe get a bit more familiarity. Okay, so find a comfortable sitting posture. Make sure your back is upright and the rest of the body relaxed. Okay, we do a general body detachment, kind of sweeping from head to toe. Any sensation, any elements, we make peace with them, we wish them well and happy. So in the Zen tradition, they normally depict taming the mind like taming an ox. So they draw a picture of this farmer trying to tame an ox. So he used a rope and tried to loop on the bull or the ox neck and tried to have a tug of war, right? Try to tame the ox. So it's a struggle if we try to fight the mind. So I'm offering alternative solution. Make friends with the ox. Instead of fighting, you offer grass. So you're going to make the mind happy when we wish it well and happy. Do not struggle, do not try to control the elements. Whatever sensation appear, wish it well and happy. New sensation appear, wish it well and happy. Okay, so if the mind is relatively at peace with the bodily so-called sensations, then now we can sort of feel the breath body. Basically, it's the area of attention where you want to feel the in and out breathing. So for starters, it's good to start at one small point or one small area. You can use it below the nostril, above the upper lip, that's one spot. And the other possible location would be at the diaphragm. So you don't have to feel the entire this circulatory system, I have to feel the entire lungs and everything. Just one small area where there's in and out breathing. So once you have located or determined which area where you want to feel the in and out breathing, then you try to stay with that, try not to get distracted or pay attention to some other things. And with that area of attention, you can feel the in and out breathing. Every inhalation, wish the breath well. Exhalation, wish the breath happy. So we are not controlling the in and out breath, so it doesn't matter whether is it a long breath, short breath, fast or slow. The only thing is whenever there's in-breath, you deliberately make a wish it well. Whenever there's exhalation, wish it happy. So that is like the minimal rate of reflection, part of right effort. And if, let's say, your mind is more sensitive, if you can feel multiple changes in the elements in one in-breath, then you go for the higher count. The more right thoughts, the better. So the in and out breath is like the physical evidence. And the Buddha gave an example of to tame the mind, it's like putting a pole, a shaft, with a rope, and then you sort of tie on the wild animal. So the breath is actually this pole that's anchored to the ground. And the loving kindness is the incentive for the mind of this wild animal to stay still. Inhale well, exhale happy. And you can observe the we call it bodily fabrications will cease. That means you are less distracted by the body. And we can talk about the mind. Basically, that's the craving formations, because the theme is against the stream of craving. So the takeaway is to identify this craving, or how this craving operates, where is its traveling route. So the more we apply right thought, then this craving should reduce and the craving should settle, should subside. And it's good to know the process of how it subsides. Where's the location of this craving? When there's lots of craving, how is it like? When there's lesser craving, how does it settle down? So the whole Buddhist training is about clear comprehension, discernment, clear comprehension. because you are the one doing the steps. It's not like suddenly you blank out and let somebody else take over your body and let them do the steps. No, huh? So you have to do the steps. You are clear. You must know the skill how to let go. Okay, once the mind is quite settled down, or the rate of settling is quite negligible, so that's the first baseline level. No insight, no concentration, kind of bland kind of emotion. And to further settle down the mind, we can use insight. We can observe the impermanence of the breathing. So this time round, we are going to change the label. Instead of well and happy, you're going to change to impermanence, or any word or phrase associated with impermanence. You can use rising and falling, anicca, change, and constancy. Just pick your favorite and keep repeating. So earlier on, the loving kindness is to reduce aversion, and this impermanence is to reduce greed and attachment. And then you see how far can the mind settle down. Okay, if the mind is quite settled, then we can familiarize with this new baseline emotion. Emphasis is on the impermanence of the breathing. And at the sidelines, we take note of the state of mind, what's the emotion like. Probably it's very bland. And also, if possible, what's the location and shape of the mind. So always remember, keep the Dhamma wheel turning. Number 8 for path turning, right thought, impermanence of the breathing. Keep repeating. And treat everything else as byproduct, passing scenery. Emphasis is on rowing the boat. Impermanence of the breathing. Okay, so we make sure we fulfill 2 criteria. First criteria is that the mind is calm and settled due to impermanence and detachment. Second criteria is that we've taken note of the state of mind, mainly the emotion, and optional, the shape of the mind. Yeah. So once we have these 2 criteria, whenever we are ready, then we can let go of the mind. So part of the step 12 of this mindfulness of the breathing says release the mind. Yeah. So not many people teach us this. So we're going to let go of the mind, just like letting go of a balloon. So once we let go, we just observe any change in the emotion. Don't have to push, don't have to exert. Okay, so if let's say the emotion change from the bland emotion to something more pleasant, so that's a new state of mind. So we take note of this first level of concentration. So we multitask, take note of the emotion and also the impermanence of the breathing for this clinging and craving to reduce and settle down. If you find your mind quite settled down, then we can familiarize ourselves with the first level of concentration. Emphasis is on the impermanence of the breathing. And at the sidelines, we take note of the emotion and the state of mind. And optional, the shape. We always stay in the middle path, keep generating right thought, impermanence of the breathing. Once we stop the right thought, then the mind will naturally cling onto something else, either cling to stray thoughts, which is sensuality, or cling on to any kind of pleasant or calmness of the peace, which is craving for eternalism, craving for becoming. And then we make sure we fulfill two criteria. First criteria is that the mind is calm, settled down due to impermanence and detachment. Second criteria is that we take note of this emotion, this state of mind. So in theory, the first level of concentration has 4 factors: joy, happiness, initial and sustained thinking. So we just remember this emotion, how is it like? And whenever we are ready, then we can change gear. So we're going to let go of the first level of concentration, just like letting go of a balloon. And once we release the mind, we just observe any change in the emotion, and if possible the shape. If the joy and happiness appear to be clearer or more distinct, then that's the second indicator of the second level of concentration. So we are going to multitask again, take note of the emotion and also the impermanence of the breathing for the mind to settle down. If we find the mind quite settled down, then we can familiarize ourselves with the second level of concentration. Emphasis is on the impermanence of the breathing. And at the sidelines, we take note of the state of mind, what's the emotion, and optional, the shape of the mind. So the emotion in theory, two factors, joy and happiness, and it's slightly clearer than the first level because due to the lack of this initial and sustained thought cluttering process. And whatever happens, keep on being mindful of the impermanence of the breathing. Okay, and make sure we fulfill the two criteria. First criteria is the mind is calm and settled due to impermanence and detachment. And the second criteria is that we've taken note of the state of mind, mainly the emotion, and optionally the shape. We call this mindfulness or mind states, whether you know the mind is restricted or expanded. So there's like a certain shape to the mind. Okay, and if you fulfill the two criteria, whenever you're ready, then you can let go of this second level, just like letting go of a balloon. Once you have released the mind, you just observe any change in the emotion and if possible the shape. And if you experience a different pleasant emotion, that's due to the disappearance of joy, just like happiness. So we take note of this happiness and the impermanence of the breathing for the mind to settle down. And if your mind is quite settled down, then we can familiarize ourselves with the third level. Emphasis is on the impermanence of the breathing. And at the sidelines, we take note of the state of mind, mainly the emotion, and optionally the shape of the mind. make sure we fulfill two criteria. First criteria is the mind is calm and settled down due to impermanence and detachment. Second criteria is that we take a note of the state of mind of the third level. So in theory, the third level of concentration has two factors, happiness and some equanimity. And once you have the two criteria, whenever you're ready, then you can let go of the third level, just like letting go of a balloon. And once you release the mind, you observe any change in the emotion, and if possible, the shape of the mind. If the happiness disappears, you get this neutral but refreshing kind of experience. We call this the equanimity of the fourth level. So we multitask, we take note of this equanimity and the impermanence of the breathing for the mind to settle down. If the mind is quite settled down, then we can familiarize ourselves with the fourth level of concentration. Emphasis is on the impermanence of the breathing. And at the sidelines, we take note of this emotion of equanimity and optionally the shape of the mind. And once we have fulfilled the two criteria, the mind is calm and settled due to impermanence and detachment. And the second criteria is that we take a note of the state of mind. So in theory, the fourth level of concentration just have one factor called equanimity. And once we have these two criteria, we are going back down again. Make a wish to go back down to the third level of concentration. So as the mind descends or collapses to the third level, then we observe any change in the emotion. So if the neutral kind of feeling is gone, then you have this happy emotion surfacing, and that's the indicator of the third level of concentration. So we multitask again, take note of this happiness and the impermanence of the breathing for the craving to settle down. Okay, if you find your mind quite settled down, then make sure you fulfill the two criteria. You have the mind detached and settled, and also take a note of the state of mind. So in the third level, there's both happiness and a bit of equanimity. And whenever you're ready, then you can make a wish to go back down to level 2, second level of concentration. And as the mind descends or collapses to the second level, we observe any change in the emotion and if possible the shape of the mind. Okay, and it lets you experience a different kind of pleasant emotion that's due to the introduction of joy. So now you have a mixture of both joy and happiness. So we take note of this emotion and also the impermanence of the breathing for the craving formations to settle down. Okay, and if you find the mind quite settled down, and if you have fulfilled the two criteria, the mind is settled, and you take a note of the state of mind, this joy and happiness, and whenever you're ready, then we can make a wish to go back down to level 1. So as the mind descends or collapses to the first level, we observe any change in the emotion, and if possible, the shape of the mind. If you find that there's more cluttering, like more obstruction, and the joy and happiness like become hindered or diminished, and that's the indicator of the first level of concentration. So you can take note of this emotion as a package, and also the impermanence of the breathing for the mind to settle down. And if the mind is quite settled down and you fulfill the two criteria, and the first level has this additional initial and sustained thinking, kind of thought process, kind of cluttering this whole experience. And whenever you're ready, then you can make a wish to go back down to the baseline level. And as the mind descends, you observe any change in the emotion and also the shape of the mind. And if you are at the baseline level, make sure there's no more happy or joyful emotions. Everything is bland and blend. So we are going to continue with the impermanence of the breathing for this craving to settle down. So we call this the sensual sphere. Okay, and And we're going to feel the rest of the body, the fingers and the toes. While doing so, also mindful of impermanence. So now the training is to be mindful of these Four Noble Truths, this craving, how it arises, how it ceases. And we're training this detachment process in all cognitive spatial states. So we've done it in one small point, and now we are largening the area. Feel throughout the body. Can we still practice detachment? And if you still can maintain the mind calm, always repeating this impermanence. And now we are training this open awareness. So we are no longer restricting the area of attention. We are no longer confining towards the body. We let the mind open and free. It's like when the COVID lockdown measures is removed and there's no flight restriction, that everybody can travel everywhere. So we let the mind sort of travel everywhere by itself. So we do not purposely direct the mind at certain area or location, no controlling. Let the mind freestyle. So this is supposedly the most natural state of mind. The most natural state of mind, open awareness. So in this open spatial state, can we still practice detachment? Can. So we just need to be mindful of impermanence. Wherever the mind goes, we just know how it arises, how it passes away, how it changes, how the attention changes, how it arises, how it passes away. So there's no interference, let the mind travel wherever it wants. So our job is just to be a GPS tracker. We just know the location of the mind. Every moment, where is your attention now? Where is your attention now? Where is your attention now? So you just need to know how it arises, how it passes away. So the less you control, the better, because we are supposed to see things as they really are, not see things how you want it to be. And this attention, again, comprises of the 5 aggregates, 5 in 1. The reason why we are able to determine the location of this attention is because of the presence of the 4 elements. So mind matter cannot be separated, nama rupa. So the form aggregate has the 4 elements, earth, fire, wind, water. And along with it there's feelings, there's also perception, or the names, or the labels, or the past experiences. The mind trying to cognize, there's perception. And you have mental formations. Every time the mind jumps around, that's a formation. And consciousness is the awareness, or the quality of awareness. through the six senses, your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. So the attention can move around through six avenues, the six senses. And our job is basically to play catching. Understand how this aggregates, how it arises and how it passes away. And the indicator, if you're doing on the right track, is to check your craving level. If there's more tension, if craving arises, means something is wrong. If there's detachment, craving level drops, means you're on the right track. So this is kind of a long journey to go against the stream of craving. The stream is a very long stream. So keep rowing, mindful of impermanence. See how far you can reach, what's your high score. So in this particular mode, we have done the samatha phase first, doing the jhanas, combination of insight and jhanas, and now we are doing purely insight. That means there's no samatha, we are not fixing the mind, we are not superimposing any concept, we are trying to understand reality and learn to detach. Okay, so in this open awareness state, you can do it in all postures. You can do it in sitting, standing, walking, lying down. And I leave it to you, to your free time self-practice.